Commander Thomas Reed stood at his post in Outpost 7 security checkpoint, his weathered hands resting on the sleek console that had become as familiar as an old friend. 23 years of Earth fleet service had earned him this assignment on humanity's furthest space station, though some days he wondered if it was more exile than reward. The station's artificial lighting mimicked Earth's dawn, casting a warm glow across the pristine white corridors. Reed's security scanner hummed steadily, processing the morning rush of traders, diplomats, and the occasional adventurer seeking fortune in the frontier systems. Next, he called out, his deep voice carrying the authority of someone who had seen too much to be easily surprised. That was about to change. The figure that stepped forward made him pause. She was Avalonian, her skin a pale silver that seemed to catch and hold the light. But it was her eyes that caught his attention, deep violet with flecks of gold, remarkably similar to his late wife's unique genetic modification. The woman wore simple traveler's clothes, but carried herself with an unmistakable grace that spoke of high breeding. "Welcome to Outpost 7, Reed said, maintaining his professional demeanor. "Standard bioscan for all first-time visitors." He gestured to the scanner, expecting the usual routine. The woman placed her hand on the device without hesitation. The scanner's soft blue light pulsed once, twice, then flashed red. Reed's hand instinctively moved to his sidearm, but the alert on his display wasn't security-related. Instead, it showed something impossible. Genetic match detected. Paternal link confirmed, 99.9%. Subject, unknown. Recommend immediate quarantine and investigation. "Is there a problem, Commander?" the woman asked, her voice carrying a musical quality typical of her species. Her expression remained calm, but Reed noticed a slight tension in her shoulders. Reed's mind raced through possibilities. 25 years ago, he'd been stationed on Avalon during the first human-Avalonian diplomatic summit. There had been a woman, Lyra, a researcher in xenogenetics. They'd spent one passionate night together before duty called him back to Earth. He'd never known. "No problem," he said carefully, his training keeping his voice steady despite the storm of emotions within. "But I need you to come with me, Miss Naira Starweaver," she supplied, a ghost of a smile playing at her lips. "Though I believe you knew my mother by a different name." Before Reed could respond, the station's alert system blared to life. Red emergency lights bathed the corridor as Chief of Security Morgan's voice echoed through the speakers, "All personnel to battle stations. Unknown vessels approaching. This is not a drill." Reed's eyes met Naira's, and in that moment, he saw something that chilled him, not fear, but determination. She knew something. "They're here for me," she said simply. "And what I carry in my blood. We don't have much time." The deck plates vibrated as the station's defense systems powered up. Reed made a decision that would alter the course of human-Avalonian relations forever. "Security override Reed Alpha 7, he commanded. "Seal all access to Level 3. Miss Starweaver, please come with me. I believe we have a lot to discuss." As they hurried through the station's rapidly emptying corridors, Reed couldn't help but notice how Naira moved with the same fluid grace as her mother. But there was something else, a strength, a presence that seemed almost human. What had Lyra been working on all those years ago? And why had she kept their daughter secret? The answers would have to wait. Right now, they needed to reach the secure command center before whoever was hunting Naira found them. Reed had lost one family to the vastness of space. He wouldn't lose another. Above them, the first shots of what would become known as the Genesis Crisis were about to be fired, and humanity's understanding of its place in the galaxy was about to change forever. Commander Thomas Reed stood at his post in Outpost 7 security checkpoint, his weathered hands resting on the sleek console that had become as familiar as an old friend. 23 years of Earth fleet service had earned him this assignment on humanity's furthest space station, though some days he wondered if it was more exile than reward. The station's artificial lighting mimicked Earth's dawn, casting a warm glow across the pristine white corridors. Reed's security scanner hummed steadily, processing the morning rush of traders, diplomats, and the occasional adventurer seeking fortune in the frontier systems. Next, he called out, his deep voice carrying the authority of someone who had seen too much to be easily surprised. That was about to change. The figure that stepped forward made him pause. She was Avalonian, her skin a pale silver that seemed to catch and hold the light. But it was her eyes that caught his attention, deep violet with flecks of gold, remarkably similar to his late wife's unique genetic modification. The woman wore simple traveler's clothes, but carried herself with an unmistakable grace that spoke of high breeding. "Welcome to Outpost 7, Reed said, maintaining his professional demeanor. "Standard bioscan for all first-time visitors." He gestured to the scanner, expecting the usual routine. The woman placed her hand on the device without hesitation. The scanner's soft blue light pulsed once, twice, then flashed red. Reed's hand instinctively moved to his sidearm, but the alert on his display wasn't security-related. Instead, it showed something impossible. Genetic match detected. Paternal link confirmed, 99.9%. Subject, unknown. Recommend immediate quarantine and investigation. "Is there a problem, Commander?" the woman asked, her voice carrying a musical quality typical of her species. Her expression remained calm, but Reed noticed a slight tension in her shoulders. Reed's mind raced through possibilities. 25 years ago, he'd been stationed on Avalon during the first human-Avalonian diplomatic summit. There had been a woman, Lyra, a researcher in xenogenetics. They'd spent one passionate night together before duty called him back to Earth. He'd never known. "No problem," he said carefully, his training keeping his voice steady despite the storm of emotions within. "But I need you to come with me, Miss Naira Starweaver," she supplied, a ghost of a smile playing at her lips. "Though I believe you knew my mother by a different name." Before Reed could respond, the station's alert system blared to life. Red emergency lights bathed the corridor as Chief of Security Morgan's voice echoed through the speakers, "All personnel to battle stations. Unknown vessels approaching. This is not a drill." Reed's eyes met Naira's, and in that moment, he saw something that chilled him, not fear, but determination. She knew something. "They're here for me," she said simply. "And what I carry in my blood. We don't have much time." The deck plates vibrated as the station's defense systems powered up. Reed made a decision that would alter the course of human-Avalonian relations forever. "Security override Reed Alpha 7, he commanded. "Seal all access to Level 3. Miss Starweaver, please come with me. I believe we have a lot to discuss." As they hurried through the station's rapidly emptying corridors, Reed couldn't help but notice how Naira moved with the same fluid grace as her mother. But there was something else, a strength, a presence that seemed almost human. What had Lyra been working on all those years ago? And why had she kept their daughter secret? The answers would have to wait. Right now, they needed to reach the secure command center before whoever was hunting Naira found them. Reed had lost one family to the vastness of space. He wouldn't lose another. Above them, the first shots of what would become known as the Genesis Crisis were about to be fired, and humanity's understanding of its place in the galaxy was about to change forever. The secure command center of Outpost 7 hummed with activity as Reed and Naira burst through its reinforced doors. Holographic displays showed multiple vessels emerging from hyperspace, their design unmistakably Avalonian, but unlike anything in Earth Fleet's database. "Talk to me," Reed commanded, his voice cutting through the chaos as officers scrambled to their stations. "What are we dealing with?" Security Chief Morgan, a compact woman with steel-gray hair and eyes that missed nothing, stepped forward. "5 vessels, Commander. No response to hails." Their energy signatures are unusual. She glanced at Naira, her expression hardening. Care to explain why they powered up their weapons the moment you arrived? Naira moved to one of the tactical displays, her fingers dancing across the controls with practiced ease. They're from the Pristine Order, she said, her voice tight. A faction that believes in genetic purity. They've been hunting me since I left Avalon. The genetic program, Reed said softly, pieces falling into place. Your mother's research. Project Genesis. Naira's eyes met his, violet meeting steel gray. Mother didn't just study human Avalonian genetics. She proved compatibility was possible. She gestured to herself. I'm living proof. The station shuddered as the first volley of enemy fire struck their shields. Reed's tactical training kicked in. Morgan, evacuate all non-essential personnel to the lower levels. Direct all power to forward shields. He turned to Naira. What exactly are they after? This. Naira rolled up her sleeve, revealing intricate patterns that seemed to shift beneath her silver skin. Encoded in my DNA is the key to unlocking stable human Avalonian genetic fusion. Mother believed it could revolutionize both our species, enhanced regeneration, telepathic abilities, extended lifespans. Another blast rocked the station. Morgan's voice cut through the din, shields at 60% and dropping. They're targeting our primary power core. They're not trying to capture me, Naira said grimly. They want to erase any evidence that humans and Avalonians can successfully merge. Including me. Reed felt an unfamiliar sensation in his chest, a fierce protectiveness he hadn't experienced since losing his wife. Not happening, he growled. Morgan, initiate defense pattern Delta. And get me a secure channel to Earth Fleet Command. The holographic display crackled to life, revealing Fleet Admiral Victoria Winters, her dark features set in grim lines. Commander Reed, this better be important. We're tracking multiple unauthorized Avalonian vessels in your sector. Admiral, requesting immediate assistance. We have a situation involving classified genetic research and... Reed hesitated, then continued, and my daughter. Winter's eyebrows shot up, but before she could respond, Naira stepped forward. Admiral, I am carrying vital research that could change the future of human Avalonian relations. The Pristine Order wants to destroy it, and me, to maintain their ideology of genetic purity. The station rocked again. Shields at 40%. Morgan called out. Winter's expression hardened. The nearest Earth fleet vessel is 3 hours out, Commander. You'll have to. Her image dissolved into static as another blast struck home. Reed turned to Naira, seeing in her face the same determination he'd felt throughout his career. We're not waiting for backup, he said. Morgan, give me manual control of the defense systems. Sir. Morgan's surprise was evident. Those cannons aren't designed for precision targeting. Trust me. Reed's hands flew across the controls, muscle memory from years of combat training taking over. Naira, what else did you inherit from me besides my stubbornness? A smile played across her silver features as she stepped to the weapons console. Mother always said your combat intuition was remarkable. Let's see if it runs in the family. As father and daughter worked in sync, their shared genetic heritage manifesting in ways neither had imagined, the battle for Outpost 7, and the future of human Avalonian relations, was about to take an unexpected turn. The atmosphere in Outpost 7's command center crackled with tension as Reed and Naira faced their greatest challenge. 3 more Pristine Order vessels had emerged from hyperspace, their quantum signatures pulsing with deadly intent. Through their newly formed mental link, father and daughter could sense the raw power building in the enemy ship's weapons arrays. They're charging something big, Morgan reported, her fingers flying across the tactical console. Energy readings are off any scale we have. Reed felt Naira's consciousness brush against his, sharing her understanding of what they faced. Quantum cascade devices, she explained, her voice carrying harmonic undertones that made the air vibrate. They're designed to shatter the quantum field itself. If they fire, the station will be torn apart at the molecular level, Lyra's hologram finished grimly. Along with everyone aboard. The pristine order's transmission cut through their discussion, carrying a cold finality. This is your final warning. Surrender the abomination, or we will cleanse this sector of her taint. No trace of this corruption will remain. Reed's jaw tightened as he felt Naira's pain at the words. Through their link, he shared his own memories of facing prejudice in the early days of human-Avalonian contact, letting her know she wasn't alone. The quantum network, Naira said suddenly, her eyes blazing with golden light. Father, remember what you taught me about naval warfare? About turning an enemy's strength against them? Reed's tactical mind quickly grasped her plan. Their weapons are connected to the same quantum field you can access. But the power required will burn out my neural pathways if I try it alone, she finished. That's why I need you. Your human adaptability, your combat intuition, together we might have a chance. Morgan stepped forward, her expression grave. Commander, sensors indicate they're beginning their firing sequence. Whatever you're planning. Do it, Lyra's hologram urged. The genetic codes I embedded in Naira's DNA were designed for exactly this kind of synthesis. Human and Avalonian, working as one. Reed took his daughter's hand, feeling the energy surge between them as their minds fully merged. The command center's technology responded instantly, displays shifting to show the quantum realm they now perceive together. The pristine order's ships blazed like dark stars in their shared vision, their quantum cascade devices drawing power from the very fabric of space. But where they saw weapons of destruction, Reed and Naira saw connections, patterns, possibilities. Now, they spoke as one, their merged consciousness reaching out through the quantum network. The station systems became an extension of their will, human engineering enhanced by Avalonian quantum science. The enemy fired. Time seemed to slow as the cascade devices released their devastating power. But instead of shattering the quantum field, the energy met something new, a hybrid frequency that existed between human and Avalonian wavelengths. Reed's tactical experience guided their defense, identifying the critical nodes in the enemy's attack pattern. Naira's quantum awareness allowed them to reach through space itself, catching the cascade energy and beginning to turn it. Impossible, the pristine order commander's voice shook with disbelief. Our weapons are pure. They cannot be corrupted. Not corruption, Naira responded, her voice carrying both human steel and Avalonian harmony. Evolution. With a final surge of shared will, they completed their manipulation of the quantum cascade. The devastating energy meant to destroy them instead flowed back through the quantum network, transformed by their hybrid consciousness into something entirely new. The pristine order ships stuttered in space as their own weapons' energy returned to them, not as destruction, but as revelation. Through their quantum cores, they experienced firsthand the truth of human Avalonian synthesis. Reed felt the exact moment their enemy's certainty shattered. The quantum network carried echoes of their shock, their disbelief, and finally, their understanding. Stand down, he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of both species' authority. Let us show you what we can achieve together. The enemy ships' weapons powered down one by one as their crews grappled with their first taste of hybrid consciousness. The battle was over, but its implications were just beginning to unfold. Naira swayed slightly as their merged consciousness gentle separated. Reed caught her, feeling the lingering echo of their connection. You okay? She smiled, her violet eyes still swirling with golden energy. Better than okay. For the first time in my life, I know exactly who and what I am. She looked at the stunned faces of the command center crew, then at her mother's proudly beaming hologram. And I know what we need to do next." As if in response to her words, the station systems pulsed with new life, human and Avalonian technology working in harmony in ways never before possible. The Genesis Protocol, as it would come to be known, had proven itself in battle. Now it was time to prove itself in peace. Above them, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if sensing the dawn of a new era about to begin. The emergency lighting cast strange shadows across Outpost 7's medical bay as Reed watched Dr. Roth examine his newly discovered daughter. Naira sat calmly on the diagnostic bed, her silver skin seeming to pulse with an inner light that the medical sensors struggled to categorize. "These readings are unlike anything I've seen," Roth muttered, adjusting her instruments. "Your cellular structure is shifting, adapting moment by moment. It's as if your DNA is evolving in real time." Another blast rocked the station. Reed's comm unit crackled with Morgan's voice, "Commander, the pristine order ships are maintaining their distance, but they're charging weapons. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it fast." Naira winced suddenly, pressing a hand to her temple. The medical bay's lights flickered, and the diagnostic equipment surrounding her began to emit strange harmonics. "What's happening to her?" Reed demanded, taking a step forward. "The genetic codes," Naira gasped, her violet eyes beginning to shimmer with golden light. "They're not just data, they're awakening." Mother knew this would happen. The medical bay's main display suddenly came to life, showing complex sequences of intertwined human and Avalonian DNA. But these weren't just scientific diagrams, they moved, pulsed, seemed almost alive. "Remarkable," Dr. Roth breathed. "The human genetic adaptability combined with Avalonian quantum resonance, it's creating something entirely new." Reed watched in amazement as patterns began to appear beneath Naira's skin, intricate designs that seemed to shift and flow like liquid starlight. The air around her crackled with energy that the station's sensors couldn't quite classify. "I can feel it," Naira whispered, her voice taking on harmonic undertones that made the medical equipment hum in response. "The quantum network that connects all Avalonian technology. I can see it now. Not just see it, I'm part of it." She raised her hand, and the medical bay systems responded instantly, displays shifting to show vast webs of energy that pervaded the station, connections and patterns that had always been there but that only she could perceive. "Your mother's research," Reed said, understanding dawning. She wasn't just studying genetic compatibility. She was creating a bridge, Naira finished, between human consciousness and Avalonian quantum technology. "The pristine order fears us because we represent what they've always denied, that evolution demands change, demands growth." Another explosion rocked the station, closer this time. Morgan's voice came through again, "Commander. They're targeting our shield generators. 10 minutes until critical failure." Reed looked at his daughter, seeing in her transformed features echoes of both her mother's grace and his own determination. "What can you do?" Naira stood, energy crackling around her like a living aurora. "I can fight back. But..." She hesitated, reaching for his hand. "I need your help. The human part of me, the part one got from you, it's crucial." Mother's note said that human adaptability, human intuition, is what makes the quantum integration possible. The moment their hands touched, Reed gasped. Through the point of contact, he could suddenly sense what Naira perceived, the quantum network that pulsed through the station like a living thing, the intricate dance of energies that connected all Avalonian technology. "Fascinating," Dr. Roth said, her instruments going haywire. "The hybrid genetics are creating a quantum neural link between you. Commander, your own brainwave patterns are shifting to match Naira's quantum frequency." Reed barely heard her. Through his connection with Naira, he was experiencing space itself in a new way. His lifetime of tactical experience merged with her quantum awareness, creating insights that neither human nor Avalonian alone could achieve. "The pristine order ships," he said, seeing them through this new perception. They're quantum cores, they're all synchronized. That's why they're maintaining formation even under fire. Yes, Naira confirmed, her grip tightening. And now we can use that against them. But we'll need to get to the command center. Together. As they hurried through the station's corridors, Reed felt the connection between them strengthening. Each step seemed to awaken new awareness, new possibilities. The very walls of the station seemed to respond to their passage, lights brightening, systems humming in harmony with Naira's evolved quantum field. They reached the command center just as the pristine order launched their next attack. But this time, as enemy fire approached the station, both Reed and Naira knew exactly what needed to be done. The battle for Outpost 7 was about to become something unprecedented, a demonstration of what humanity and Avalonian could truly achieve together. Through their shared consciousness, father and daughter prepared to rewrite the rules of what was possible in this corner of the galaxy. The Grand Conference Chamber of Outpost 7 had never seen a gathering quite like this. 1 week after the battle, representatives from both Earth Fleet and the Avalonian High Council sat together, their attention fixed on the remarkable demonstration before them. Naira stood in the center of the chamber, her silver skin still shimmering with traces of golden energy as she manipulated the quantum field. Behind her, Reed monitored the data streams, their newfound connection allowing them to work in perfect synchronization. The Genesis protocol isn't just about genetic compatibility, Naira explained, her voice carrying both human warmth and Avalonian harmonics. It's about achieving true synthesis between our species' greatest strengths. To demonstrate, she gestured at the station's environmental systems. The lighting shifted, revealing the quantum networks that had always existed just beyond normal perception. Through their shared consciousness, Reed added his tactical insights, showing how human intuition could enhance and direct these energy flows. Remarkable, breathed the Avalonian High Chancellor, her ancient eyes wide with wonder. In all our millennia of advancement, we never imagined such a perfect merger of our technologies. Admiral Winters nodded in agreement. The military applications alone are secondary, Reed interjected firmly, stepping forward to stand beside his daughter. What we've discovered here goes beyond weapons or defenses. It's about evolution, both technological and cultural. The chamber's quantum field rippled as another figure materialized, Lyra's hologram, now a permanent part of the station's enhanced systems. The pristine order wasn't entirely wrong, she said, her form more stable than ever thanks to Naira's modifications. They understood that change can be dangerous. What they failed to see was that it can also be beautiful. As if to emphasize her point, the former pristine order commander, Vorn, rose from his seat. Gone was his previous arrogance, replaced by a thoughtful humility. When we felt the hybrid consciousness through our ship's quantum cores, we experienced something profound. Unity without loss of identity. Strength through diversity, not in spite of it. Naira smiled at him, then turned to address the assembled dignitaries. The genetic keys my mother encoded in my DNA are special, yes, but they're not unique. Her research proved that many humans and Avalonians have the potential for this kind of synthesis. With proper preparation and training. Which is why, Reed continued, we're proposing that Outpost 7 be converted into the first Genesis Protocol Training Center. A place where compatible volunteers from both species can learn to achieve what Naira and I have discovered. The chamber erupted in discussion, but Reed barely heard it. Through their link, he sensed Naira's mixture of hope and nervousness. He sent back his own feelings of pride and support, marveling at how natural their connection had become. There will be resistance, Lyra's hologram warned quietly. Change always faces opposition. Let them resist, a new voice declared. All heads turned to see Morgan striding into the chamber, her security uniform now bearing the newly designed Genesis Protocol insignia. Some of us have already seen the future. And we choose to embrace it. She wasn't alone. Behind her came others from the station's crew, humans and Avalonians who had witnessed the battle, who had seen what was possible when artificial boundaries fell away. The High Chancellor rose, her ancient features set in a look of determination. I believe we have seen enough. The Genesis Protocol will proceed, with Outpost 7 as its headquarters. She turned to Reed and Naira. Under your joint leadership, of course. Admiral Winters smiled. Earth Fleet concurs. Though I suspect we'll need to create some new regulations. We've never had quantum-enhanced officers before. Later, in the quiet of the station's observation deck, Reed stood with his daughter watching the first volunteers arrive. Ships from both Earth and Avalon carried carefully selected candidates, each one hoping to follow the path that Naira had pioneered. Having second thoughts? Lyra's hologram appeared beside them, her expression knowing. No, Reed said firmly, feeling Naira's agreement through their bond. Just thinking about how much has changed. A month ago, I was just a station commander. And I was a fugitive carrying genetic secrets, Naira added with a smile. Now look at us. Above them, the station's quantum field pulsed with new energy as human and Avalonian systems continued to merge and evolve. Through their enhanced perception, father and daughter could see the threads of possibility stretching out into the future. Mother, Naira said suddenly, tell us the truth. Did you plan all this? Did you know what would happen when you brought us together? Lyra's hologram smiled enigmatically. I planned the science, dear one. The love, between father and daughter, between our peoples, that was something that had to develop on its own. Reed wrapped an arm around his daughter's shoulders, feeling the quantum energy dance between them. Together, they watched as another ship docked, carrying more pioneers ready to embrace a future neither species could have imagined alone. The Genesis crisis had ended, but the true Genesis, the birth of something entirely new, was just beginning. And here, on this station at the edge of known space, a father and daughter stood ready to guide their peoples toward a destiny that transcended the boundaries of both their worlds.